Welcome to another episode of Inside Rangers Football. I'm your host, Brant Freeman, alongside Rangers head coach Larry Hill. District play is here. Smithson Valley opens 26-6A play this Friday against Clemens, and they enter district play on a two-game winning streak after a 44-0 shutout of Madison this past week. And Coach, let's start with the defense. Just the week before, Madison has scored 51 points. We talked about that offense in previewing the game, and you shut them out, holding the Mavericks to only 3 first downs the entire game, less than 100 yards of offense. Just how impressed were you with the play of your defense?
Well, very impressed with our players and our coaches and our schemes. And as you said, they had shown the ability to score from anywhere on the field the week before, and their ability to limit explosive plays. They just had 2, including one on the last play of the game. They had a 20-some-odd yard run. So to make them drive the ball, not give it to them in one play, was something we wanted to do. And we got a number of 3-and-outs. I think starting the game off, kicking off with the win, out of the end zone. They start on the 25, 3-and-out, punting into a stiff win. We get the ball near or at midfield. We repeated that process 3 or 4 times in a row. And, our offense was able to be opportunistic with that great field position. And, we got off to a pretty great start and made them swim upstream from the beginning.
Now, on the topic of explosive plays, you look at your offense, and of the 5 touchdowns you scored, 4 of them covered 20 yards or more. Of those 4, 2 of them were 50 yards or more. Every week I ask you for your keys to the game, and each week you say you need explosive plays.
Right.
The fact that you got those, how pleased were you with the play of your offense on Thursday?
Well, very pleased with the amount of explosives. We don't know. I think it was 13-2. We beat them in explosives. And so big chunk one-play drives were good, and then we showed the ability to drive the ball and grind too. And in a perfect world, you can do both of those, not be totally reliant on one or the other. I thought our kicking game showed well. Our kickoff coverage was outstanding. I think our net punt was 42 on our couple of punts. And, their net punt, we either pressured them into a shank or we fielded the ball and kept it off the ground. And, things like that matter. And, we were able to pull away and win big. But in tight games, the ones that we're going to play that are going to go down to the wire, those are the type of things that can turn it for you.
Now, you talked about the kicking game, and you mentioned your kick coverage and your punt game, but I want to focus on the fact that you made 3 field goals. It gets lost in a 44-0 win. People, again, get excited about the long touchdowns, the defensive shutout, but the ability to put the ball to the upright. Sometimes drives stall out around the red zone. You got to find a way to score.
Sure.
Just how important is that strong kicking game?
It's real important. Joaquin Rodriguez made his 2 attempts and all of our extra points, and then Colby Wright, our other kicker, he came in at the end and made his. And so it matters. Yeah, you got to come away with points when you get the opportunity. Of course you want a touchdown. Of course you do. But being able to get 3 is big, and then those same 2 guys doing such a great job with kickoffs, not just kicking it through for touchbacks, but occasionally corner kicking and spotting that ball down in the corner, and they're hemmed up and they can't get a touchback. They've got to bring it out, and we're getting them on the 8-yard line or the 12-yard line. And it makes a tremendous difference for your defense when they run out there and have them on such a long field.
Well, I said this in the open, that 26-6A play is now here. The district part of your schedule starts this week. This time last year, you were 0-2 going into district play. This year, you're 2-1, having won 2 straight games. Non-district games technically don't count towards postseason eligibility, but how significant is it to play well in non-district play before 26-6A comes up on your schedule?
Football's like most sports. It's a confidence game, and anytime you're having success, you obviously have a little more confidence than when you're not. A year ago, we had some real tight games just slip away from us right at the end. I'm not sure that we're significantly different or better, but still, you're right. I mean, when you're winning and you won a few, then your air's a little cleaner going through your nostrils, food tastes a little better, the world looks a little brighter, but the reality of it is, just like a year ago, they're 0-0 in district, and we've got to win this one.
Again, Smithson Valley an impressive close to non-district play with a 44-0 shutout of Madison this past Thursday. A lot of big plays in the game. Let's break down some of them in this week's Plays of the Week.
Let's take a look. Our first play of the week is our first defensive snap. It's the first play after the kickoff. We've got them on the 25-yard line, and this is what's known as a coverage sack. You watch as the play unfolds. Their quarterback takes a snap. He's dropping straight back. He's got 3 receivers down here to the lower part of the screen, and we've got them covered pretty good. You can see that they've got 3. They're running kind of a burst type route. We've got 3 in front, 2 in back. We've got them all covered up pretty good. He can't throw it. Now he's got to hold it a while. When that happens, you know, we've got 3, eventually 4 guys combining on the sack. You know, early in the ball game, but I thought it set the tone immediately for how it's going to go. Trey Moore, our junior defensive end, sometimes defensive tackle. He's at tackle here. We're going to focus on him because he's the one that really disrupts from the beginning. He takes an outside rush lane and then spins back to the inside rush lane. There. And now he's attacking the quarterback, and when he does, Trey Witcher in the middle, and that's Garrett Brooks coming from the right, and then eventually Tanner Holbeck coming from the other side. All 4 combined on a sack, made possible by our coverage. Later in the game, we're going to focus on our kickoff coverage. Joaquin Rodriguez is handling our kickoff here on this particular play, and he's going to spot the ball where we want. We want that ball in the deep right corner to kind of limit their options, and that's exactly where he gives it to them. And then they run a little bit of a reverse return in the end zone. They got one zig in one way, one zig in the other, and they're trying to confuse you on who's got the ball. Our players are not fooled. They read the blocking pattern, and you can see we've got the cavalry there, and there's really nowhere for him to go. We make the hit on the 8-yard line, sets our defense up on a tremendously long field. You can watch it from behind the kicking team now. There's Joaquin approaching the ball. The ball's well placed, deep over in the right corner. You can see we're in got a wall of guys there that are all down there together as the ball is caught on the hash. There's their zigzag reverse, trying to confuse you on who has the ball. Our players read the blocking pattern, and by reading the blocking pattern, they know who's getting the ball, even though they can't necessarily tell. And everybody's heading that way. Nobody's chasing ghosts the other way. We combine on the tackle on the 8-yard line, and that's just a well-done special teams play by our kickoff unit. This is one of our first touchdowns. You can see we have 2 receivers down the lower part of the screen, Greg Eggleston and Maverick Freeland, and they're committing 3 defenders to them. So numerically, we have an advantage going the other way. We bring Greg in quick motion and run the jet sweep to the right. And we outnumber them and get some great blocks at the point of attack. Jacob Fortone, Austin Howell there in the middle, and then up high, Chandler Cole. Create an alley for Greg to get in. Of course, he's got great speed. He shoots through there and skips into the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. Well played. You can see it from behind the offense here. Luke Gumbert, our quarterback, bringing him in motion. There's Austin Howell, 44, fullback sealing the inside. There's Jacob Fortone on the right, and up high there, Chandler Cole, and a nice little alley for Greg to get in, our first touchdown, and we go from there. And those are our plays of the week.
And that, again, a wrap-up on Smithson Valley's 44-0 win over Madison from this past Thursday. Coming up later in the show, we'll preview the 26-6A opener against Clemens. Up next, it's time for Senior Moments, Rangers Trivia, and more. Back with more Inside Rangers football in just a moment.
Fisher's Neighborhood Market is teaming up with the Smithson Valley Rangers. When you stop to gas up, look for the Ranger Spirit Pump. A portion of sales from this pump will be donated directly to the SV Athletic Booster Club to help out our Rangers. So choose the one that's Ranger Blue and fill up. Fisher's Neighborhood Market is proud to sponsor the Smithson Valley Rangers.
Welcome back to Inside Rangers football. Still to come, that preview of Smithson Valley's 26-6A opener against Clemens. But right now on the show, let's have some fun with the Senior Moments. And for that, let's send it over to Emily Wick. Emily?
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Brant. Today we have a special guest sitting here with us on Senior Moments Trivia. We've got Jackson Garrett and BZ, our new trainer at Smithson Valley. Thanks for joining us, BZ.
Thanks for having me.
Boys, are y'all ready for some trivia? All right, today what you're playing for is a piece of history. Right here in my hands, I have a piece of turf that was on Ranger Field from the year of 2011 to 2019. So our first question today is, a cow, this is multiple choice, ready? A cow gives how many glasses of milk in her lifetime? A, 2,000 glasses of milk. B, 20,000 glasses of milk. Or C, 200,000 glasses of milk. BZ.
C, 200,000 glasses of milk.
You are right. Bonus question. This opens up to anybody. What kind of cow makes chocolate milk? Garrett? Good.
It doesn't count.
Next question, guys. A group of lions is called a BZ.
Pride.
Very good.
As in Ranger Pride, boys, get you some.
And you should have some pride too. Good answer. Next question. What is the former name of the NFL? Jackson. A little fast on the buzzer. BZ?
Would that be the AFL? Before the merger?
No.
Okay.
Anyone? The actual name was the American Professional Football Association. Good try though. Learn something new every day. You ready for the next round? How many lug nuts are in a standard size cartwheel? BZ.
6?
No,
Ooh.
not 6. Next, anyone?
You know this. No, I don't.
You might as well guess. It's not going to count against you. Garrett, 5 is right. You got a point. Good job. Good. Bonus question on this one. Do you know how fast NASCAR pit crews can take lug nuts off?
Very.
BZ? This is true. Very. Anyone more specific? Four tires only take about 12 seconds. It's pretty impressive. Some fast moving stuff. Have y'all learned how to change a tire yet?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, there you go. No. Jackson, yes. Garrett, no. All right, Jackson, maybe you can teach Garrett. Next question. So there are 12 buttons on a cell phone. Which 2 do not have numbers on them? BZ.
The pound and the number sign.
Oh, they're the same thing. Yes, I'll give it to you. Good job, BZ. Yes, that's right.
Oh, I'm sorry, pound, yes.
Yes, pound and nut. Good job. This is a line from a movie. Who can name it? I'm your Huckleberry. BZ.
Tombstone.
Tombstone is right. Good job.
This is very fair. You have to watch these shows, guys.
I need people to watch.
Okay, next time you get hurt from the training room, get iced, we'll watch Tombstone. I promise.
Bonus question. What is the character's name in Tombstone that said that line? BZ?
Sorry, it's my favorite movie, Doc Holliday.
Very good. Yes, absolutely. Well, BZ, since Tombstone is one of your favorite movies, and it's definitely one of mine, can you give me a couple more of Doc Holliday's quotes?
You're a daisy if you do.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is. What about, I'll start you on this one. Why Johnny Ringo?
It looks like somebody walked over your grave.
Very good, yes. That's a great movie. Boys, you've got to watch that. Put it on your list. So I'm looking at the score, and we've got 0 to 2 to 5. So I'm hoping someone down the row can catch up on this next question. What jersey number did Jackson Sini wear last year? Jackson? Very good.
Beat me to it.
Good job, Jackson. Well, it's been fun, guys, but we definitely have a winner. Our guest, BZ, you won this round of Senior Moments Trivia, and you get to take a little piece of history home with you.
All right, guys, this is going to look great on my desk. You can come by and visit it every once in a while. All right.
Coach Brant, back to you.
Well, quite the Inside Rangers football debut for BZ, first-year trainer with your program, Coach, and has done some good things for you.
No doubt. You know, Thomas Petmecki was our trainer here for 35 years and retired at the end of the last school year. And, you know, trying to replace somebody that's very difficult. But Coach Zettler, Brian Zettler, BZ as you call him, we're very fortunate to get him. You know, he's a native Texan, but has spent most of his career out of state working with college football, professional football, the Utah Jazz and the NBA, and most recently the AAF League. And so, but he and his wife had a desire to return to Texas and have a son that plays at A&M and 2 daughters that are on our dance team. So, you know, they were ready for this kind of job, and we needed an outstanding person to fill our job, and the two sides married up just well. We're excited to have him.
Well, glad to have him on board, and now we go from Senior Moments to this week's edition of Rangers Trivia. This week in Rangers Trivia, Smithson Valley's shutout of Madison was the 34th for the program in the Larry Hill era and the first for the Rangers since 2017. What's the team record for shutouts in a single season? Is the answer A, 5 shutouts, B, 4 shutouts, or C, 3 shutouts? The answer is A, 5 shutouts. The Rangers defense has accomplished this feat twice under Coach Hill in 1998 and again 12 years later in 2010. And yes, again, 5 shutouts in those 2 seasons, 1998 and 2010. And Coach, you've had some really good defenses over the years. Those certainly were 2 of them. And it's never easy to shut out an opponent, no matter the circumstances, playing high school football.
No question. And those were 2 years that we had outstanding defenses and some circumstances that contributed to that as well. And if we could get 5 this year against the schedule we're playing, boy, this season would have a mighty happy ending. But we're sure glad to get one against Madison last week, and maybe we can get some more.
Well, the defense will be tested again this Friday as Smithson Valley opens 26-6A play against Clemens. A game we'll preview coming up next right here on Inside Rangers Football.
Many tales have been told of Africa, but none like this. This is our story. This is Serengeti.
Watch Discovery, GVTC, Channel 554.
Welcome back to Inside Rangers Football. Now looking ahead to Smithson Valley's 26-6A opener against Clemens this Friday from Ranger Stadium. Both teams enter the game with a record of 2-1, finishing out non-district play. And Coach, you and I have been talking about for years just how difficult this district has been since realignment, 2 different realignments ago. Clemens has been a part of that. In a district full of high-caliber opponents, what makes Clemens stand out?
You know, they've just got, they're well coached, they've got good tradition, and they've just got some talented football players really all over the field. They'll be as talented as any team we play. And their schemes, the way they run their offense, the way they run their defense. Certain teams you match up well against, certain teams are a little more problematic based on what you do versus what they do. Clemens has always been one of those for us. You know, you trace the history of the last 3, 4, 5 years, you know, it's been a tough game for us. We've, you know, tight games, usually always, but I guess we won big 3 years ago, but the last 2 years they've got us in some close games, and it'll be that type of game at least again. We're hoping for a different outcome. Yeah,
last year Clemens won this game 19-13, and I remember going into the game expecting one thing at quarterback, seeing another. It was a surprise start back then from Max Dito-Maninko, then a sophomore for Clemens, and he was very good that day and has been the Buffalo's quarterback ever since then. He's going to be one of the better dual threat quarterbacks you'll have faced all season long. What jumps off the page when watching him play?
Well, just what you said, his ability to create plays with his arm and his legs within the structure of the offensive play, but then also to be able to create when the play breaks down and make something out of nothing, usually something big out of nothing. And he was the difference a year ago, 3 long runs on really what appear to be nothing plays. And, we're going to but they've got other threats. Their receiving core is outstanding. They've got an excellent running back, and their offensive line is well coached and really, really good. And defensively, they're starting 9 seniors, many of them multi-year starters, just talent and size and speed at every position. So, it's just, we're going to jump in the pool. We're going to see what the temperature of the water is.
Yeah, another Friday night in 26-6A. But expanding more on the offense, so far this year you faced Midland Lee, Fluke of Hendrickson, and most recently Madison. Is there a comparable offense to Clemens based on what you've seen already this year?
Well, Midland Lee is very similar. Their quarterback's dual threat, have a great receiver, good backs. All 3 teams have been a little bit different, and I wouldn't say they're most like Lee, but from a talent standpoint and schematically, they're very similar.
Now, you look at the defense for Clemens, and they have a shutout of their own this season. They, too, shut out Madison in the season opener. It's a defense that has forced close to 10 turnovers already 3 games into the year, and this is not an easy defense to run against. You can ask Reagan, even in a loss for Clemens from this past week. When looking at the Buffalo's defense, what makes it so difficult to move the ball and score against it?
Well, their front seven's very talented. The way they line their guys up and the way they play their corners to force things back into those 7. It's a little bit unique defensively and makes you think outside the box a little bit on how you're going to attack them. And then you put talented players along with that, you got your hands full. So traditionally, they're very good defensively, and this year's no exception. This
is the first time in 3 years you will have been opening up district play at home. We saw what a great environment it was a couple of weeks ago in the home opener for you against Hendrickson. How advantageous is it to start this difficult portion of your schedule at Ranger Stadium?
Well, we'd rather be there than anywhere. Friday night at Ranger Stadium, a student section rocking, full house, and the atmosphere that is Ranger Stadium on a Friday night in the fall. So the opponents are still tough, and the games are still going to unfold like they're going to unfold, but we'd rather be there than anywhere.
And Coach, finally, what are your keys for this game coming up Friday night?
Well, the usuals. I think we've got to avoid what happened a year ago. We cannot let them have 2 70-plus yard runs. I mean, we just got, we can't let them have the one-play drive. We can't play defense really good all but 3 or 4 snaps. We got to play good defense. And then I think finding a way to run the ball against their front 7 makes our passing game and everything else much better. And then we got to make a difference in the kick game, make difference-making plays.
All right, Coach, best of luck this Friday.
Thank you, Brant.
Again, Smithson Valley hosting Clemens this Friday at Ranger Stadium. Kickoff is at 7:30, and we'll have the game for you right here on the Rangers Network. For head coach Larry Hill, I'm Brant Freeman. This has been Inside Rangers Football. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.